left. So my apologies there. Um, and welcome to my show. Now, I'm just waiting for a lot of people to come on in. For those of you that comes in on Hacks TV, you can it's streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and of course Facebook. So I'm just waiting for a lot of people to come in. I want to welcome you guys for this special live. And before I start this, I just found out this morning, um, and this is basically a sad story. And for those of you that don't know, former Secretary of State Colin Powell, one of the most, no matter what political party you're in, whether you're a Democrat or whether you're a Republican, um, who's one of the greatest people. And I'm just being honest that, off screen, he was one of the greatest people that ever served in the federal government. Unfortunately, this morning I just found out that Colin Powell has passed away because of COVID, because of the COVID complications. So, my thoughts and prayers goes to his family, and I mean, it's basically sad, and what made it even worse, guys, that he already got the jab. He's already vaccinated. So I mean, and see, this is what's so controversial, and I don't want to get into that. I probably will do that in another video because I want to talk about this topic. But let me say this is that Colin Powell will be missed. I already did tributes on my Instagram and on my Twitter, and also my Facebook about Colin Powell, and he surely will be missed. He surely will be missed. Now, with that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and go on. Let's move on with the show. And yesterday, I did some video. Well, I did videos, but I watched some YouTube videos. And for those of you, and all my Canadian family and friends, if you are watching me, I want you to, remember me as a person because I was on this show that was been on since 1988. It's called Electric Circus. It ran through from 1988 to 2003. And for those of you that didn't know, or for those of you who lives in Canada that didn't remember me, I'm the guy. I mean, I was one of the dancers of EC of Electric Circus. I was one of the guest dancers, and at that time, I wore a Toronto Raptors Vince Carter jersey, a purple one, and I did a lot of dancing that night. It was that one night I was on EC that I remember. Um, and at the time that Yasmin, who was the dance coordinator, never forget it. Because at that time on that weekend, I believe was in 2002 or 2003. I'm not quite sure. I definitely know it was between one of those years. And I was, going on. I was here in Canada for a wedding. So I always want to be on the EC show. I always want to be on Electric Circus show, and basically, I was on it. So I met the EC dancers, met some of the EC dancers, which is really really cool, and I was very excited about being on the show. And for those of you who live in the United States, for those of you who live in other countries, it's not as far as Canada, that want to know what show was on. I was on a show called Electric Circus, which is EC. Um, and I know a lot of celebrities go to Toronto, and they always perform on EC. It was on Much Music, and also it was on City TV, which is a Toronto TV station over there. And I was on there basically that one of the, believe it was in 2003 or 2002. One of those years I was up there, and that night, it was a Friday night. I was in Toronto, and I was on the EC show. It was an amazing experience for me, very amazing. And I remember that Yasmin, who was the dance coordinator at the time, prepared me for the show. And she showed me, basically when the show began, when the show started, she put me in all them other dance areas. That was really, really cool. I'm never going to forget those memories. Because I believe last year, the original host of EC was on this, Toronto, this Toronto morning show, and basically it was really, 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 really amazing because everybody had their own lives. And even to this day, I always want to know what the dancers are doing now. Even to this day, to the Canadian, EC dancers, I really want to know what they're doing. At that night, I want to keep in contact with them. They were amazing. After the show was over, I never forget it. We went to the after party, and it's in downtown Toronto. I don't really remember what the club was, but we was at the after party, and and that's when we got to know the EC dancers and stuff like that. So it was really an amazing experience for me. I even yesterday I even tweeted, I even left a comment on the Toronto morning show. When the original host was on there, and she explained her memories doing the host of the show. It's really an awesome for me to do all of this because at that time, that next morning, I went to Kingston. I believe I went to Kingston, Ontario, to one of the family members' wedding. So it was the day, the show that I've done with EC. That the next day I will automatically just go ahead and go straight towards Kingston, Ontario, to one of the family members' wedding, and it was really an amazing experience for me. Amazing experience. So yeah, I was one of the dancers. I before Lions Den, before what I'm doing right now, I was a former model. I was a dancer. Um, and what's making it even more amazing is meet some wonderful people. On Electric Circus, one of the most amazing people. Um, it's it's funny that I have to remember all of this stuff of what happened that year because I remember my ex girlfriend at the time, and we drove from Maryland all the way to Toronto. Went all the way to Toronto, went through the security checkpoints, everything. This is the memory I would never forget for the rest of my life. Being on one of the most dead shows in the country of Canada. It was an amazing experience for me. For people who live in the U.S., for people who lives in America, Electric Circus is sort of like Total Request Live here, or like on MTV or American Bandstand in the '70s, '60s and '70s. So that's what Electric Circus is about. So with me being on there, like I said, it's an amazing experience. I don't want to change anything in the world. And wearing a Vince Carter jersey at the time, a Toronto Raptors jersey at the time, all purple. I'm surprised that couldn't find the footage that I was on, because there's a lot of footage on YouTube, a lot of videos on YouTube of EC shows, and I'm just basically surprised that I couldn't find one of them. And I think it was the same year that R&B singer Alicia Keys and rapper Eve did a song "Gangsta Lovin'." I think that was when this first song first released, which was I believe in 2002. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that year, between 2002 and 2003, it was in the summertime. I believe it was like in June, July, when I went up to Toronto that year, and it was a great ride for me. Doing what I did. I was dancing. I was having a blast. Met some cool Canadian, you know, EC dancers. But the only thing, the only great thing about me being on the show is that you meet some people there, and I never forget one of the dancers even asked me, and he asked me, he said, "Are you ready for this?" And I said, I'd never been more ready in my life. So that's the story that I can remember being on Electric Circus. I could have. There's been rumors that they were supposed to do a reboot of Electric Circus, but due to COVID at the time, it wasn't done. It didn't happen. But yeah, that was just basically crazy. But this past Saturday, as you know, my wife's birthday was this past Saturday. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday to her. And I know she's having a blast on the cruise right now, on, on Carnival cruise ship right now. So, I also wish her niece as well happy belated birthday. So their birthdays are in only I think 2 or 3 days apart. But I wish both of them a happy belated birthday. So I wish you guys a best. Have a great time. Sending pictures. You know how y'all do. But yeah, it's quite amazing. A couple of years ago, you are on one of the most popular shows in Canada, and a lot, and I think a lot for those, like I said, for those of you who live in Canada, for those especially in Toronto, in the Toronto area, that grew up watching EC, what are your memories about the show? I would love to hear from you guys, because here in America, when I used to living in Maryland, we also, the show EC was streaming live even down here. I think, even down in America. So I always watch it every Friday night. Every Friday night. It was one of my favorite shows. A lot of people don't know it, but it's true. And it was really amazing that you see, in different shows. And I think what's so sad about it, that December of 2003 was the last show that EC, broadcasted. It was really the last show. It was really sad that basically it came to an end. But my memories of being on the show, I would never ever forget it. I wouldn't change it for the world. That because before I became an activist, before I became Lions Den, talk show host, podcaster, YouTuber, I was a dancer and I was a former model. Doing and then being on shows like EC really changed my life forever. Being on Electric Circus has really changed my life forever. I wouldn't change it for the world. And like I said, and for those of you that know, that do you all remember what show that I was on? Because I was trying to find the footage, and it's only, there's a lot of EC footage, a lot of video footage on Electric Circus on YouTube, and I was trying to find the video that I was in, and I couldn't find it. I was looking so hard yesterday to find out. I even looked the year, 2000, to 2003, still couldn't find it. So I was so like, where is the footage? Where is the footage? I was trying to, so I can post it on Twitter and on YouTube that I was on the show, and I couldn't even find it. But I did found celebrities that was on EC. And I remember Britney Spears, one more, hit me baby one more time. She was on the debut for her first debut album and everything else. But I'm still trying to figure out where was where was my video? Where was me dancing? And I couldn't even find it. It was so frustrating. But my biggest experience being on the show is, I remember when I arrived in Toronto, it was, because we were supposed to arrive in Toronto, I think, on a Thursday night. Unfortunately, we were lost. My ex girlfriend and we were lost trying to find, which road to go to. It was really basically crazy. And like early Friday morning, about no later than I believe like one that morning, we found the Canadian border. And so we, they checked us in and making sure that we're who we are before we go on, move on to Toronto. And that's exactly what happened. We went straight to Toronto, and finally we went there. I think we finally arrived in Toronto about, let's see, about 9ish in the morning that morning. And we still was lost. We tried to find where the hotel was. It was really crazy, um, but then it was like a Friday morning. I met, and I told Yasmin that we're in town. Yasmin, for those of you who don't know who she was the dance coordinator of Electric Circus at that time. And for those of you, like I said, all the people who lives in Toronto, who lives in Canada, who remembers Electric Circus, I believe you guys know what I'm talking about. So Yasmin, who was a dance coordinator, she basically, and I told her that I was in town, so I told her the hotel that we were staying in. I met with her at the hotel room. She was a nice, straight up nice person. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. There's an airplane flew by here in Albuquerque. Hold on. This is crazy, guys. I'm just hearing airplanes in my place, in my house. It's crazy. Okay, I think the airplane is gone. Okay, all right. So anyway, let's go back to the story. So Yasmin, who was the dance coordinator there, we met at the hotel that my ex and I were staying in, and she's telling me what to expect. She's telling me what to expect, before you going to get on the Electric Circus show. And I was trying to find something to wear, and she said, well, no, 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 no. You can wear the Toronto Raptors jersey at the time, which was a Vince Carter jersey. And and I was the only American, and this is true. I was the only American guest dancer on the show. The only American guest dancer. I never forget that as long as I live. So at that time, it was like earlier that evening. We tried to get dressed. My ex and I was trying to go get something to eat at the time, and prepare for the show. Now keep in mind that the next day we were supposed to go to Kingston, Ontario, which is like 3 hours outside of Toronto for a wedding. So we have to. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at that year. But so we was getting dressed and everything. I think earlier in the evening we was trying to find where the EC show was. So basically, I think we had our directions and we tried to get there, and we finally got there. We finally got it was in downtown Toronto. We finally got to the place, and once I arrived, so once I arrived to the place, I never forget it. Yasmin was waiting for me to get there. So Yasmin got me in, on the backstage and everything else. And I met some of the EC dancers. And it was really an amazing experience for me because, I was pretty nervous. And they knew they knew I was an American at the time. It was like, wow, you're an American? You from America? Okay, okay, okay. I got you. So, they wanted me to dress up, and I got a Vince Carter Toronto Raptors jersey, which was perfect. You're in Toronto, you're in Canada, you're in the country of Canada. Just represent for the city, right? So, um, when I was, getting ready, and then this was like about an hour before the show even starts. And so we came to prepare. I met a few of the dancers, and they was excited to even dance with them, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's get it popping. One dancer even asked me. I said, "Are you ready?" I said, I've never been more ready in my life. I believe that's what I said at that time. So the show started. All of us was on the program, on the stage and everything. And, Yasmin at the time put, escorted me through places because, there's it's lots of cameras everywhere. When you do the shows, you got outside of City TV, which is a television building, which is now Much Music. You got like a fans out there screaming fans. You got kids, you got teenagers. All of them was screaming fans out there, and it was an amazing ride. Um, so you got that, and you got what's inside the facility. It was making it even funny. It was kind of really. It's like I was doing my thing. I was dancing, doing my thing, and in the camera, I'll never forget it. When the camera got on my face, I just waved and smiled, um, and I kept doing what I'm doing, kept doing my dance, and keep doing my thing. And so Yasmin, who was the dance coordinator, get sent me say, "You got let's go there, go there, go there," and I went there. It was an amazing experience for me. Never wouldn't change it for the world. And it was a hard work. It was very hard work for the electric circus dancers because they worked their butts off, get where they needed to go. I think the last time I spoken with Yasmin, who was a dance coordinator, I think it was she. We was on during that time was we was on MySpace. She was on MySpace, and she said she remembered me, and I'm like, I remember you, yeah. And then we talked. I think we talked for I think like it's been no less. I think we talked twice or three times at the time, and we lost touch after that. So I mean, my thing is that I want to know what Jasmine doing now. I want to know what the dancers of EC was doing now because it's been years. It's been years, and I know people has their own lives. People probably were married, having kids now, and it's really an amazing experience for me. I wouldn't change it for the world. And during that time, I loved Toronto. Toronto is the most beautiful city in the world. Went up there, and that's the first time. And this is true. I've been to Canada because my father married a Canadian. And I mean, when we growing up, we always go out doing these things in Canada. But this is the first time, and that's when I was on EC. This is the first trip to Toronto. I'd never been to Toronto before, and it was an amazing experience for me because I see a lot of different things, and I saw the biggest AMC movie theater in my life. It was so huge. That was in Toronto. I don't know if it's still up there, but yeah, I would not miss this for the world, guys. It was an amazing ride. I enjoy, being a dancer. I enjoy being a model like years ago before I'm into this activism type thing, before I'm in being a social media type thing. And it's something that I will never forget. When I saw the videos of Electric Circus, it brings me memories. And one thing I didn't even know about the show was it started in 1988. I didn't know, and it even lasted until 2003. Wow, wow, that was a long time from 1988 to 2003. That's an amazing ride, guys. So that show, I'm never going to forget it. I mean, there's some hosts of the show been changed throughout those years, and it's one of the most memorable moments that I ever had in my life. And being in Toronto, being in Canada, it's an amazing experience for me. Very experienced. That's way before I'm doing this. So if you live in Canada, if you live in like Toronto, on Ottawa, and Vancouver, any other places in Canada, you have your experience watching Electric Circus, Please leave a comment in the chat box. I would love to hear from you guys. Um, and again, like I was the only American guest dancer on the show. That was really an amazing experience for me. It was really an amazing experience, and I would give a shout out to Yasmin. Whatever you doing, Yasmin, whatever you doing right now, um, you're an amazing person. You're an amazing dance coordinator. I mean, you doing your job on EC. You're really doing your job, and that's something I will never forget in my life. So, for those of you who just tuning in, welcome to the Lions Den TV show right here on Haps TV. I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on Twitter. I'm streaming on Facebook and on Twitch. You can, check me out every week because I'm gonna be on the show every week. Discussing a lot of issues, whether it's news, entertainment. Because I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm gonna do a lot of mixed up other things as well, talking about cruises and cruise news and everything else. So yeah, I'm welcome you guys, and basically, if you want to donate to my channel, you can go ahead and donate on my Cash App, which is $LionsDen49. Let me tap, let me tap that on right here on this chat on box real quick. Oh, okay. Hold on one second, guys. Trying to, tap this on my live stream. And there we go. So this is my Cash App if you want to donate to my channel, which is $LionsDen49. So those are the memories that I have, being on Electric Circus. And then again, I believe it's either 2002 or 2003. I know it was a summer. It was the summer of that year, and I was trying to find the footage that I was on, and unfortunately, I couldn't find it. So, for those of you, I mean, I'm going to ask you a question for the people who worked at Electric Circus at the time. If you have the footage of me dancing, please post it on YouTube so I can find it, so I can show on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. No, the memories that I have when I was on Electric Circus in Toronto. So I just want people to understand that if you used to be working on Electric Circus, if you have footage of me, please, 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 please send it to me, or please send it to to the YouTube channel so I can find it and I can share it. And that's very important. So guys, so I was going to ask you guys, for the people who lives in Canada, for the people who live in Toronto, especially, what are your memorable moments on Electric Circus? I want to like to hear from you guys because from 1988 to 2003 was a really, really long time, really long time. And from the people here in the U.S., you know, do you remember Electric Circus? Because I know some was streaming here in the U.S. as well. I even watched it every Friday night because it was. I remember it was when I was in DC. It was like this is a channel that I watch. You see like a public television channel. I didn't remember what that channel was, but they always stream me Electric Circus down here in the States. So I just want people to know if anybody's seen the show. If you do, leave the comment and let me know what's going on. So that's basically it about what I remember about Electric Circus. It's been a lot of years, and again, I would not change that show, or I would not change it for the world. I would not do that. It was an amazing ride for me, and I'm just, and if they have a reunion, um, and I really want to have. I really want them to have a reunion, but they were supposed to do a reboot of Electric Circus, because of COVID, they didn't get a chance to do it. So it was sad because I would love to watch it because it was a show that I would never forget in my life, and And I mean, from 2002 to 2003, I watched Electric Circus here in the States. It was streaming here in the States, and I never missed an episode. I never missed a show. Only thing I missed, however, was the ending or the finale, the finale of Electric Circus in December 2003. I think that was the only time I didn't see the video. I think that's why they stopped streaming it in here in the States. But yeah, there was a memorable moments for me to be on the show, and again, like I said, I would never miss this for the world, never. For those of you that just tuning in, welcome to my live. My topic for today is my memories of when I was on Electric Circus in Toronto, Canada, which was a dance show, a dance program, and because I know a lot of people talk about their memories of you know when they were on the show, and there people say that some Canadians say they were kids when they watched the show, and I was on the program. I don't know if it's between 2002 or 2003, and it was like in the summertime, but I never forget it. And I went to the after party after the show was over, and, then I think we left. I think we left early. Then the next day we went to Kingston, Ontario, to go to one of my family members' wedding. So that's basically it, guys. Um, so I would like to welcome you guys. I'm about to end this live stream, but if you have any questions, or if you know the memories of what happened, or where were you when when Electric Circus was on the air? Did you always watch it every Friday night? Were you on the show? Were you on the program? Leave the everything in the comment section, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off of this live. But I will definitely be on the live stream probably sometime this week, talk about other stories, and basically, I'm going to probably talk about Colin Powell. But with that being said, guys, it's been real, it's been fun, and to the people, to the dancers of Electric Circus, I wish you guys the best of luck. I will never forget you guys. To Yasmin, the dance coordinator, I definitely won't forget you. Um, I don't know what you're doing now, but I know most of y'all may have families now, maybe have kids, married, whatever. But that's one thing about Electric Circus I would never forget, that I was on the program, and I was the only American guest dancer on that program. So with that being said, y'all, I would like to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm getting ready to get out of here. I love you guys. Have a great Monday, and I see you sometime in the next live stream. Till then, love y'all. Take care of yourself, and I see you next time. Deuces.